Our classic WWE SummerSlam watch-alongs conclude tonight with the very first one ever, SummerSlam 1988. I chose this one. I figured it was appropriate. We have SummerSlam coming up this coming Saturday, and we have one more Sunday to watch a classic SummerSlam. And we've never watched 1988. We've never watched the first one. We watched 1989 a couple of weeks ago, but we've knocked out most of the good SummerSlams. And since we are coming up on this year's SummerSlam, why don't we go way back in time and take a look at the very first one, some 35, count them, years ago, and a pretty big night from what I remember in Madison Square Garden, mega powers, mega bucks, and the end of Honky Tonk Man's record-breaking Intercontinental title run, losing to the Ultimate Warrior. And I thought this would be a really good show to do since I'm hopeful that Gunther is just a couple of weeks away from breaking Honky Tonk Man's record himself. So this show made a lot of sense. I completely forgot or was unaware until about 2 days ago that I scheduled this live stream watch along head to head with NXT Great American Bash, which is also airing right now on Peacock. So if you want to pull up two Peacock windows, feel free. I have Great American Bash up on my TV on my wall, and we're going to watch SummerSlam 88 right here. This will give us some practice for football season because every year during football season, we usually have a game on the TV there that we're eyeballing, Sunday Night Football game or playoffs or whatever's going on. We're always eyeballing some sports during the fall and winter months. So this will give us practice for those months to kind of keep an eye on the Great American Bash. I'm completely out of the loop on NXT. I don't even know if Dominic has a match on this thing or not. But we'll eyeball it, and it looks like they're in an actual arena. So we will kind of keep our eye on the PLE while we watch the classic PPV. That's what's going on here. And it's going to be a busy week. We got SummerSlam coming up, big podcast tomorrow, predictions video for SummerSlam coming up on Thursday. And of course, Saturday, we will be here for SummerSlam itself. And we'll talk about the details of that as we go through here tonight. But let me say a quick hello to everybody as you guys are getting your Peacock set up. You want to go to SummerSlam Season 1, Episode 1, only a 2 hour and 30-minute runtime, according to Peacock. The exact time is 2 hours, 30 minutes, and 35 seconds. So we will hit play here together in just a couple of minutes. Once we do, the timer right below me begins to run. That way, if any of us experience problems, if you guys do, if I do, whatever, we just match up with the timer and all is fine. So that's the way we've been doing it for going on 3 years, I think 2.5 years now. We've been doing these watch-alongs on Sundays, and they've been a blast. And it's been fun. So SummerSlam 1988, many of you weren't born. I was 11 years old. I was barely, retaining memories in wrestling. I'd only, been watching wrestling for about 5 years, 6 years at this point, since I was just a wee but mighty little good mic work. And I have very fond memories of Randy Savage's title win, his relationship with Miss Elizabeth and Hulk Hogan and the Mega Powers in those early WrestleMania days. Fond memories. Randy Savage, my number 2 favorite wrestler of all time behind Bret Hart. So big mark for him. And going to take you guys back to my childhood, and we're going to watch SummerSlam 88. But let me say hello to everybody that is here hanging out in the chat, like Tatanani. We are pro wrestling. What's going on, my friend? MJ Parker, Victor Colon, Zane G, Mike, the Juliet, and gorgeous George Morris, rounding out some early channel members. Thank you for the $5, George. Hey, Greg, how are you doing? SummerSlam 88, 10 out of 10. Where were you watching that night? Man arrested today at Walmart for stealing an Xbox controller. Right on. 5-finger discount is always going on at Walmart. That's fantastic. I'm surprised anybody even tries to steal anything from a Walmart. Place is probably pretty locked down. Where was I watching? I did not watch this on pay-per-view. My parents hadn't gotten into the habit of buying me every pay-per-view yet. That year, I watched WrestleMania 4 on pay-per-view, and since we had just moved to a brand new town that didn't even have cable installed in the neighborhood yet, we had to drive to one of my dad's friend's house to watch it. So I don't recall if we had cable hooked up by the summer of 88 or not. I'm pretty sure I probably still did not have pay-per-view capabilities until maybe around the end of the year in 1988, because at the time I was living in rural North Carolina, unlike, the gorgeous San Diego that I live in now. So things were just a little bit slow going. I did hear they just got caller ID in North Carolina, so good for them. They're getting up there. But yeah, technology was a little slow when I was there, so I did not watch this on pay-per-view, and I don't recall when I even saw any highlights of this. I guess it would have just been on TV on the weekend shows when they would show highlights of this. But I had the magazines. I was following the build on TV. You knew they were kind of going in that direction after WrestleMania 4, the way that ended with Hogan and Savage and DiBiase and Andre. Obviously, there needs to be a tag there, and that's what they used as their main event for the very first ever SummerSlam. And I think the first two had tags, right? The first two SummerSlams were tag team main events. So, George, thanks as always for being here. Angie Law is in the house as well. Good to see Ramon Coffey and Kelvin Sanchez. Welcome to the family, my friend. Good to see you. We do have some members-only videos coming up. We did one yesterday, too. Saturday night's main event, episode 4, we just watched yesterday, so that's available now for members. Isaac is here as well. Juliet is in the house, and so is K-Dog's Kennel. And we also have Mike. Did I get you yet? I'm not sure. Wow, you were 21, Tatanani. You were -3, We Are Pro Wrestling, 8 going on 9. You were born in April of 88. Right on. Yeah, I was just a little kid going into the 6th grade, I guess I was about to go into that summer. So crazy times, man. I'm sure I'll have a lot of memories flooded in my brain as we start watching this, and I'm excited for it. Hey, Greg, how is Tito doing? Thanks, Mike. Tito is hanging out right below me. He is stretched out. He has the funniest position under the desk. He'll kind of either stretch way out long, or he'll kind of bunch his arms up and like push himself up against the side or the wall of the desk. It's pretty funny how he tends to act down there, but he's sleeping. He'll sleep through this whole thing. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to rock on SummerSlam 1988. So hopefully you guys have got your fingers ready, locked and loaded on the play buttons, and I will get mine ready to go as well. Zane G, thank you for that. SummerSlam predictions is coming up Thursday. I just mentioned that. You will have a link for SummerSlam predictions by tomorrow. Tomorrow night we'll be up here after Monday Night Raw for a big podcast. We'll catch up on last night's Collision. We'll catch up on Monday Night Raw, obviously. We'll do a big SummerSlam preview, talk a lot about AEW, Dynamite, Collision, All In. They don't have any announcements or matches announced for this thing yet, but we had a hell of a tag match on Collision last night. The entire show of Collision looked to be phenomenal. So we'll get into all that tomorrow on the podcast, and then Thursday will be our predictions day. We'll come up here at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific, and predict SummerSlam. And then I'm still trying to figure out what to do on Saturday, if I'm going to do a straight review or if we're going to live react to this thing. So we will talk about that as we go. But I think it's time to start SummerSlam 88. I'm ready if you guys are. We're going to do a countdown from 3 and then hit play together. So get your fingers ready. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. All right, we good. We are good. All right. Don't skip your intro or anything like that. If you get interrupted with an ad or anything like that, you know what to do. Just sync your shit up to the timer and all is well. I don't even know who these guys are in the ring right now on Great American Bash. I don't even know who they are, who that is. I can't even tell. All right. And they are in New York City. I think 2 out of the first 4 SummerSlams were at MSG. They hadn't had their SummerSlam music yet. They were using the Royal Rumble's music. I mean, this really was WWE's first pay-per-view other than WrestleMania. They started SummerSlam. I'm sorry. Survivor Series was. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Survivor Series in 87 started the non-WrestleMania pay-per-views. Then in 88, they kicked it up with SummerSlam, and then 89 is when they added the Royal Rumble to the pay-per-view lineup. Take a look. MSG in 88, wow. Wow, Bruno and, I'm sorry, not Bruno, Superstar and Gorilla way up top. Jesse was the special ref. Superstar's personal friend and hero, Hulk Hogan, huh? Well, Superstar had some pretty nasty things to say about Hulk Hogan after he retired. JJ Leg, appreciate the $2, dude. Watching Great American Bash, but wanted to say hi real quick. Thanks for stopping in, dude. Appreciate that. Yeah, we're kind of watching both. I'm just eyeballing. I don't watch NXT at all. I have so little interest in it. But every now and then, it's probably worth checking out. So we're eyeballing this one. I'm to the point now when these guys get to the main roster, I'll start paying attention to them. But I just can't. I can't invest in NXT. I just can't. Tried. Care very little about them. Obviously, there's some great talent there. It's just the presentation of the show that's just not for me. You got some good recruits, man. So Rougeau brothers had just turned heel or are in the process of it. Yep, soon to relocate. They don't even look like to have like Jimmy Hart with them yet. Yeah, they would have just turned heel because I'm pretty sure at WrestleMania 4 and the Battle Royal, they were still babies. So they just went heel. I forgot how they turned heel. If it was a match with the Can-Ams or if it was maybe a match with the Islanders. No, not with the Islanders. I forgot how they actually turned heel. This is kind of interesting, too, because as far as I know, I can't remember. We Are Pro Wrestling, help me out. Is this before or after? I want to say this is before. This is right. I think Jacques had the issue with Dynamite Kid where he punched him in the face with a roll of quarters sometime in between SummerSlam and Survivor Series. So I don't think it had happened yet, but it was about to. And Dynamite has got his shit on backwards. You got your pants on backwards, Dynamite. What are you, crisscross? The British Bulldogs make you jump. I mean, I'm assuming Dynamite has his on backwards. Usually the Union Jack is on your ass. I mean, look at these four. I mean, Davey and Dynamite and Jacques and Raymond, who I'm a huge mark for. These are two. This is what I loved about WWE 80s tag team division, is you had teams, good teams. Every one of these guys can go. Very young Davey Boy. I think Davey Boy was about 14 years old during this match. They love the US of A, US of A. I mean, Jacques is a big guy. Jacques is a big guy who's strong, who's got a wrestling family, who I'm sure could, like, take care of himself. I'm surprised that he was bullied to the degree that he was by Dynamite. And I know just because you're big doesn't mean you can fight. It just, Dynamite is such a little guy. I'm just surprised he was able to get away with really bullying Jacques to that degree. I guess that's why he just clocked him. Yeah, this was before the punch. Now that I think about it, the punch definitely happened between SummerSlam and Survivor Series because Survivor Series was basically the end of the Bulldogs. I don't recall seeing them after that. So it was probably just about to happen. The shit was probably bubbling right around now and then came to a head in the fall. You don't mess with all-American boys like the Rougeaus. Nice monkey flip counter by Davey. I love Raymond Rougeau. He's so good. And Raymond's tough as balls, too. Ooh. Bulldogs were... I'd say my third favorite tag team in wrestling in WWE history. Hearts and Demolition are 1 and 2. Interesting that the tag belts opened the first SummerSlam and the NXT tag belts are opening Great American Bash. This is not for the championships. Demolition is the champions at this point. So Bulldogs and Rougeaus, neither team is champ here. So that's wrong, Juliet. Yeah, Killer Bees were good too. I wasn't sure if they were going to win the titles because there was a lot of great teams and a couple better than them, I thought. I like the Islanders, the Bulldogs, the Rougeaus, Demolition. I liked all those teams better than the Bees, but the Bees were good. I remember them getting a non-title win over the Hearts. They pulled the mask double switcheroo thing and beat the Hearts in a non-title match. And I remember as a kid thinking, oh, wow, the Bees might win the tag team titles, but they did the same thing with the Young Stallions. They beat the Hearts in a non-title as well. But then when it came time for the title match, Hearts won. Roxanne Perez and Blair Davenport. Never even heard of her. Isn't she on Flax-A-Life? SummerSlam 88 is a happening. Oh. Oh. Wow. Wow, Raymond really almost got pinned down hard way there. Dynamite, fix your pants. Like, did he put him on in the back and was like, ah, fuck it. I'll just leave it like this? Or is it purposely done that way? Oh, that's Bea Priestley? I didn't even recognize her. I did not even recognize her. Blair Davenport. Give me a break. I didn't know that was Ospreay's girlfriend thing. See, Juliet, your brain's not that broken. There's Matilda. Apparently that's Jesse Ventura's dog. Ugh. Jock with the trip to Davy. I don't recall how they introduced Jimmy Hart to the team. If he just showed up with them or if there was an angle to do it. I can't remember. Oh. Jock. Yeah, and more than one person has mentioned Hogan on the Theo Von podcast. I just don't have any interest in hearing Hogan talk. I don't care what the fuck he has to say. I've heard everything. I've heard every lie he can possibly tell. He's out of them. You know, I don't. If he's just going to run his mouth, like, I'm very, very uninterested in Hogan's life and what he does and what he says. But maybe there's some tidbits in there. It's just like I couldn't never listen to Hogan and like believe anything he says because he's just a pathological liar. Ooh. Yeah, they really have Davey isolated here. So Dynamite's going to get our hot tag here. You better watch out, Jacques. Ooh. Ugh. It's kind of funny how they brought in Bruno. I'm sorry, I keep calling him Bruno. They brought in Superstar after they kind of muscled out Bruno from commentary team. Down goes Davey. I would have been fine if the Rougeaus won the titles. I always wondered, though, like when they started doing their All-American boy gimmick, they carry around the little flags and stuff. I'm surprised they didn't wear like red, white, and blue shit. I guess that was the point, is you don't want to make them baby faces. They're kind of turning heel. But nope. Yeah, Dark Side of the Ring is the 2000 Bash on Tuesday, so that'll be interesting. That situation has always been weird. It was, I remember when it happened, I was almost like not interested in it. It made a big deal. It made a big news headlines, and people have talked about it for the last 20 years. But I was so turned off by WCW, and I was like, I don't even give. I just could tell that whatever they're trying to do over there is some weird work shoot thing, and I just didn't care, and I still don't really truly understand what exactly happened. Oh, wow, look at those snap suplexes. Unbelievable. This is why Dynamite's the best. Fucking crowd loves it. I definitely know during the Hogan and Jarrett match, that Hogan went out there not expecting to take any bumps. So the fact that he was caught off guard by Jarrett laying down, no way. He knew that was going to happen. But all the bullshit after the fact is where it kind of all gets murky for me. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck they're even doing and what the lawsuit's about. So, and I think in the documentary on Tuesday, it's going to be all lies. I think 10% of it's going to be true. So it's probably the least interested I've been in a Dark Side of the Ring episode, because I think that whole situation was just weird and stupid. And I've always had this like nonchalant, I don't care attitude about the whole thing. We've never done a video on it. I've never talked about it. Never talked about where I was when it happened, because I didn't even care when it happened. I was like, who fucking cares? They're dead in the water. WWE's where it's at. Yeah, superstar. Didn't think about that. You've had quite the career in this very arena right here. Yeah, Zane, I'd be into that. The Bam Bam topic. We might try to do a casual discussion on a lot of those dark sides. I definitely expect to record a separate mic drop this week on the Cody doc, which I believe airs tomorrow night. I thought it aired tonight. I was wrong. It airs tomorrow, probably after Raw, or it'll be available tomorrow. So we'll do the podcast tomorrow night. After the podcast, I'll watch it, and then I'll try to record a mic drop this week and get that up as well. Or we might talk about it in the predictions video. Not sure. One way or the other, you'll get my thoughts on the Cody Rhodes documentary and what I have to say about Bash at the Beach as well. Probably tackle all that on Thursday. Sounds like a good day for that. Come on, Dynamite. Oh, there's Jacques. Take your shot while you got a chance, Jacques. Or take your shot while you got a chance. Had Dynamite stayed healthy and not had the issues that he had, and had a career as long as Davey in WWE, then you would have seen some matches between them. No doubt about it. They wrestled back in the day before they formed the team. But Dynamite was gone. I mean, Dynamite was gone after this, and Bulldog and Davey came back on his own. But had Dynamite stuck around, then they definitely, I think, would have eventually done the split. Tatanani, will we see Dean Malenko refereeing tonight? No, I do not think so. Dean was a short-time referee like we saw yesterday in WWE, and I think part of the reason why he was refereeing that show is because they were in Tampa for that Saturday night's main event, which is where his family's wrestling school is. So that was probably why as well. But I think a lot of him refereeing in WWE was just for a short time there in like 85 or 86, excuse me. I think he was gone by this point. No tag, you dastardly Rougeaus. I love these long tag matches. I mean, this match is about 15 minutes in so far. No titles on the line, probably not even really contention on the line. You could get away with that back in the day. You could just put two good teams in the ring together and say, here, have a match. Nowadays, if this same scenario happened, it would be a number one contender shot on the line, something like that. There would have to be something. But here, back then, they're like, no, here's a good team, get in there and fight. That's why a lot of fans now, especially with the tribal ones, well, where's the story? I'm like, what? Sometimes you don't need one. It's wrestling. All you need is a heel and a babyface, really, if you're just trying to fill a card or give the fans some good action. Not everything needs to be the bloodline. These guys might have had an issue on TV briefly that led to this match, but there was certainly no big, long-running angle here between the Rougeaus and the Bulldogs. Oh, good point, Victor. Yeah, I actually don't remember who wins this. Time limit draw would make sense because Rougeaus just turned heel. You're not going to beat them, and you're probably not going to beat the Bulldogs either. So time limit draw makes sense since we have gone a good 17 minutes so far. Yeah, Raymond. Look, Jacques being all safe with Dynamite. He's not hurting him or nothing. Who's Tito's favorite wrestler? Whoever I tell him. I told him he's a Bret Hart fan. He accepted that. Guessing this is what, a 20-minute time limit? Hopefully this match does not go another 10. Oh yeah, that's true. Since the IC match is a squash, and I remember it was originally supposed to be Honky and Beefcake. WWE changed directions. I was thinking Beefcake was going to win the title at WrestleMania 4. I was convinced that Beefcake would win the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania 4, and he didn't. So this was supposed to be where he was going to win it. Another abdominal. Yeah, I don't know if Tito likes Tito Santana or not. He doesn't like to share his name. Plus, when he's in trouble, I yell at him, Tito Santana. So hearing that name usually means bad news for him. Yeah, we might have to watch a Bash at the Beach next Sunday since it's still summertime, and we might have to move on to some WCW shows next week. I got to think about that. Tonight and tomorrow is when I get a lot of my YouTube channel work done. So you'll be seeing links hitting the channel. You'll see the predictions video come up. Whatever we do for next week's watch along, keep a lookout, and tomorrow's podcast. And then I got to decide, guys, what am I doing on Saturday? Are we going to live react to the entire pay-per-view, or am I just going to come up here and do a review? I'm kind of open to either one. I'd like to watch it and do a nice long review, or we could come up and live react and hang out all day too. It's up to you guys. Maybe the highest super chat gets to decide, because I'm still uncertain about what I want to do. Garrett Osborne, welcome to the family, my friend. Appreciate you being here. And thanks for joining, you and Kelvin. Lots of Saturday night's main event watch-alongs up on the channel right now for members. We are 4 episodes into our full series watch-through. Oh, elbow dropped on his own brother. Okay, this is going to be the finish here. I can see they're going to go into it. Yeah, we're about 23 minutes in now, so it probably is a 20-minute time limit. 3 minutes of bullshit to open. Wow. Big press slam. Wow. Big headbutt. Referee's not there. And there's the bell. We got a time limit draw between 2 of the best tag teams of the 1980s. 2 of my favorites. The Rougeaus and the Bulldogs. I was a big fan of the Rougeaus when they were babyfaces. I really liked them as a kid. They were a little bit bland. So heel turn was really good for them. A draw. Poor Jacques and Raymond. Diamond, what the fuck? Bullshit. 5 more minutes. Do the 5 more minute thing. Get on the mic. Get the stick. Rougeaus think they should be the winners. Oh, there we go. They're fighting. He took a sucker punch. Who was that? Who attacked Roxanne there? Oh, no, that was just the beginning of the match. Okay. And here's the reason why. I think I've told the story before. It's to this day, it's one of the weirdest things that's ever happened to me in my life. It's what we're watching here. So he's going to get attacked by... Now, this is where he took the spurs and bloodies up Brutus's face, which knocks him out. Now, what's weird about this is a couple of weeks before, when this issue had started, I am laying on the couch. I'm 11 years old, laying on the couch before wrestling comes on. It's a Saturday and Superstars is coming on later. I fall asleep on the couch. I dream a dream of Brutus Beefcake cutting up Miss Betsy, which was the whip that Outlaw Ron Bass carried, cutting up Miss Betsy with his shears, with his hedge clippers. I wake up from my nap. 30 minutes later, wrestling comes on. And these 2 guys who previously had no interactions with each other, Beefcake's in the middle of a feud with Honky Tonk Man. The very scenario that I dreamed happened on that episode. And Beefcake cut the whip of Miss Betsy. And I was like, I mean, at 11 years old, you really don't understand how freaky that is. And I'm like, what the fuck? So revenge for the whip cutting is right here with Outlaw cut. And I remember watching this too, like, holy shit, this is gnarly. And he might really be doing it too, you know? Now there's, I remember when they did the censor thing, I'm like, holy shit. I mean, they might have actually hard-weighed Beefcake there. I mean, what else was he doing? Cutting him with the spurs, and so then this knocked out Beefcake from the Intercontinental title match, leaving Honky with no opponent. So it was really weird. But I've never forgotten that. It's been 35 years since I had that dream, and I still remember it. I'm like, how the fuck did I dream something so specific and so random? Still don't understand it. Yeah, WWE would love to do this big censored thing. They did the same thing when who's there? Oh, a bunch of baby faces. When damn, it looks like the Rougeaus are out there too. Oh no, that's Coco. I saw the tights. It's Coco Beware. I'm like, why would the Rougeaus be out there? There's Janetti. But when Jake Roberts stripped Rick Rude naked and he like ran to the back naked, I think he just had some like flesh colored trunks on. They had that same thing. Or no, it wasn't. It was Earthquake squashing Damien. That's what it was. I think they just blurred Rick Rude. All right, is this it? No, not yet. Okay. Oh, it's Bad News. Bad News Allen. He's from Harlem. Or Bad News Brown, excuse me. He's from Harlem. What song is this? Whoever this is, it's not their music. Who the fuck is this? Oh, Ken Patera. Yeah, he was using the Olympic theme. That's why they're dubbing this. He was using the Olympic theme, which probably is trademarked or owned or something. I forgot about Patera's comeback. Patera had done some jail time, and then he came back as a babyface and turned on Bobby Heenan. Patera, much like David Schultz as a kid, was somebody that kind of scared the shit out of me. He was very scary looking. He had the blonde hair, super strong. Threw the fucking brick through the McDonald's window. It's probably be a pretty good shoot fight, to be honest. Bad News and Patera. I think Patera might eat him for lunch, though. Hated Patera's gear. Yeah, Patera was a long veteran by this point. You know, look at Patera's physique here. He kind of looks a little bit like Bill Eadie. I'm telling you, man, you shave his head and you put some face paint on, that is a member of Demolition right there. My man. Yeah, Bad News does know some martial arts. Yeah, I think it would be a pretty good fight. I think I like Bad News. The stories I've heard about Bad News, I like him better than Patera. Patera did a shoot interview for like High Spots once. I remember watching that. I'm like, what a dick. This guy's a dick. He just comes off as a dick. And I hate dicks. Hate them. Not a fan of real ones either, but just when men are dicks, it's the most off-putting fucking personality trait you can have. And I was just so turned off by it. And I'm like, fuck this guy. Dave Hebner. Well, I guess that's yeah, that does appear to be Dave. Yes. Come on, Patera. This is just like an episode of Saturday Night's Main Event. This is the same type of match you'd see. Just a random match. Bad News is relatively new. He won the Battle Royal at WrestleMania 4. He was kind of starting a feud with Macho Man Randy Savage as well. They were working, I think, the live event loops. And then this is just an enhancement match for him, is all it is. Patera is an aging veteran who's kind of just there to do jobs at this point. Bad News is new. They're pushing him. So Bad News is going to win. It ain't rocket surgery. Yeah, Kelvin. Bad News is always cool. Any interview I always saw him on, I always kind of liked his demeanor. He just seemed, like you said, down to earth, which is a quality I look for in just about everybody. You got to be down to earth for me to even give a shit about you as a friend. Bear hug on back. Come on, Bad News. You can get out of this. I'll never forget watching the episode when he came back. I don't even know what year now, 87, might have been late 86, when Patera came back. And of course, Bobby Heenan wanted to welcome him back. And that's when he had, I don't know if it was a weight belt. He tied something around Bobby's neck and just wrenched his neck. And Bobby just took a hell of a bump. And that's when he was sporting the neck brace for so long. Everybody fucked up Bobby's neck. Hogan did the same thing, would choke him out. Bobby'd wear the neck brace. Like 3 or 4 guys caused Bobby to be put in a neck brace. No, we got Gabe Steveson and Corbin. Oh wow, that's our match. Well, shit, Corbin's gonna lose. Don't really care much about Gabe Steveson at all. I don't. He's not gonna be what Brock and Kurt Angle was in WWE. There's just no way. His accusations are a little bit hard to get past too. You know, don't really care about Steveson at all. Come on, hit him with that ghetto blaster. That might be it right here. Look. Nope. I thought maybe he'd just go for it right there. He might still. He's got him in position. If Patera stands up. Nope. Oh, God, that looked terrible. That looked terrible. This is very sloppy. You guys need to step it up or end this match. There we go. Okay. He posted him. Is he going to get a blaster him right here? Yep. Watch, watch, watch. Here it comes. Boom. Basically an insecurity, right? The Ghetto Blaster. Such a funny name. A little bit of an upset, huh? Corbin just rammed Steveson's face into the ropes and he took it like he sold it like a buckle bump. Nice. A Ghetto Blaster. Right in New York City. This is a home field for fucking Bad News. Harlem, not far away. I think they made him from Harlem because of Harlem Nights. That movie came out like the same year, did it? Or no, maybe the year after. Harlem Nights might have been 89. Ghetto Blaster really put him away. We faded. Oh, Mega Power. Oh, look at Elizabeth. My Elizabeth, has a Miss Elizabeth figurine of her wearing that outfit. The last few watch-alongs have been very kind to me in terms of Elizabeth. The last 2 Saturday Night's main events we've watched, she was in a cave girl outfit. Yesterday, she was in a swimsuit. And now we get her in this. She's my number one. It's all about Miss Elizabeth to me. Oh, yeah. God, that winged eagle on Macho looks so good. All right, they're green screening that. You can tell. Oh, yeah, the secret weapon. Look at how gorgeous she is. Now, they kept saying that she was going to wear like an itsy bitsy bikini. I'm like, Elizabeth would never wear that. Our secret weapon. The kiss of death. She keeps doing that. They keep telling her to kiss. Did she drop her? She did. Oh, I wanted to rewind it, but I can't because that would be stupid. But I'm pretty sure when Elizabeth blew that kiss, she dropped her earring in her hand. It's happening again. It's happening again. This fucking song. So bad. So bad. Right, Angie? How does the universe even make somebody that perfect? That's what blows my mind. Damn, look at that. Oh, I remember those things, those flashers. Holy shit. You kids today have no idea. Those little skinny cameras, and you had to put like a flasher, plug it into it. And some of them you could like build up like a goddamn Sega CD or 32X. Just keep adding shit to it. Back when you had to worry about flashes. Flash photography. Oh, did this end in some DQ bullshit? I see a bunch of referees in a pull apart here. What a real sexy. Show us, Rick. Don't hit the music, but you can still show us what a real sexy man looks like. I mean, we try to provide enough sexiness here on the streams as it is, but sometimes Rick can help me out. It's like double sexy. You got a little bit of me, a little bit of Rick Rude. It's really all you need. Oh, and he's got the JYD on his ass and his crotch. That's nice. I thought that said she when she was 10 years old. Oh, well, of course. I mean, Elizabeth was super young here. I mean, Elizabeth was way gorgeous into her early 40s. I thought she was smoking in WCW too. And here go. We get grab them cakes, but we don't get Rick Rude's. I don't understand the policies and the decisions. This drives me crazy. By the way, it should be pointed out that I do have, man, it's faded, but I do have the SummerSlam 88 VHS. It's in all of my VHSs or my Coliseum videos are in these little plastic protective cases. So let's open this up and take a look. So yeah, it's very, very faded, but I got it for dirt cheap. I need to update this, but the box itself is in great condition. It's just faded. Must have been sitting out in the sun or something. Rude's out of there. But the back looks pretty good. The back is fine. A little bit of a price tag sticker mark there, but otherwise, it's in really good shape. It's just the front is faded. So eventually I will upgrade this, but technically I do own a copy of SummerSlam 88. So this is another match just like we just saw. So basically with Patera and Bad News a minute ago, this is the same situation. Rude was new. Well, maybe not that new. He'd been in about a year. Dog was on his way out. Just like Patera was. So obviously Bad News and Rude are going to have to go over here. And Dog had just came back too. Dog kind of disappeared after WrestleMania 3, then turned back up and is now on his way out again. He'd be heading to WCW after this, I think. Dog, the way he took those bumps. I'm going to grab another frosty beverage. JYD, he would take bumps a little bit like Valentine. Valentine would sometimes just straight back, just fall so flat, and then he would just stick when he landed. No bounce, no nothing, just completely stiff like a board. Valentine could also do the flare front flop too, but he would take back bumps a lot like JYD. Ooh, is that what Braun Breaker's doing? He's dyeing his beard like Hogan. Would she have some bronze to break or something? Was this JYD's last WWF match? I don't know. It was definitely his last pay-per-view appearance. Might have been his last TV appearance because I don't remember seeing him on TV after this. But it's possible he worked some live events before fully leaving. But this is one of them, for sure. Thanks, Zach. I need to update my emojis too. I like the ones I have. We got Tito, we got Bub, we got me, we got Brett, we got Savage and Elizabeth, we got Eddie, we got the Winged Eagle, we got the Classic IC, we got Vince dancing. Maybe I can get rid of that one. Probably get rid of that one of me too and do like a more of a PNG. I need to update those. I just don't know what to put on there. Should get a little California emoji or something like that. Who is this little girl or little woman? Not here. They're not showing her now, but she's in the title match tonight from the Chase U. I watched a little bit of the hype package for that earlier before we went live. I'm like, she looks fun. I feel like Chase U is too similar to Alpha Academy, though. I feel like she's a lot like what's her name on Raw? Maximista, whatever her name is. Isaac, 11-month member. I've got nice, shiny, I believe they're blue, good mic work emojis that will take effect for everyone once they have been members for a year. And I've got notes written. It takes me 5 minutes to do it. I've just been procrastinating. I've got a whole new members video that I'm going to do as well. That'll be up on the channel. Just little things like that. Channel updates. The life of a YouTuber never stops. Yeah, I don't know. Man, we watched Beavis and Butthead do the universe the other night. And I was cracking up because Beavis falls in love with, oh, shit. Here, this is it. Wow, that's a side Russian leg sweep. I've never seen anybody but Brett do that move. All right, Rude's going to go for the top rope punch here. Long way. Oh, he's taking off his pants. Oh, Cheryl Roberts. Oh, he's got Cheryl. I forgot about that. I think I saw Cheryl Roberts. Oh, I think Cheryl Roberts was at WrestleCon at WrestleMania weekend. Oh, and I think Jake was too. Okay, so this is not just a straight victory for Rude here. I forgot that he did the Cheryl Roberts shit, so that prompted Jake out here. And he was out instantly, which was really awesome. That was a good feud, Jake and Rick Rude. That's all right, Dog and Jake. Y'all go way back. Dog's cool with it. Dog's like, hey, it's okay, man. At least I didn't get beat. Did they just show Rude balls? They might have. And Jake was immediately out. Oh, yeah, what I was saying about Beavis and Butthead Do America. Not Do America, Do the Universe. We just watched it. And so I guess it's in 1998, but then they travel to the future, to modern times. And Beavis gets they get their hands on an iPhone, and Beavis falls in, thinks Siri is a chick who wants to do him. and he thinks he's going to score with Siri, and he's, I just like talking to you. You're really nice. And he's sitting in the bathroom, like pouring his heart out to Siri. Fucking hilarious. Like, they already did a movie about people marrying these things, so. All right. Here comes Honky. Honky, I don't really have too much against you personally. I just hate that thing is the longest running Intercontinental Champion of all time. It drives me crazy. And I'm finally to the point where that's going to change. And if Drew McIntyre takes this away from me, I'm going to join WWE, challenge the big fucker to a match. And I'm going to win the Intercontinental title. And I'm going to take the one off my wall and wear that on TV instead of that ugly gorilla turd that currently is around the waist of Gunther. See, this I don't like. I wish they would have just had the background with the logo instead of trying to do this green screen shit. Don't care who it is. I think WWE was just trying to show off their production capabilities. I'm like, just simple's better. Yeah, now that belt that Honky has, that is the new version of it. That one that he's wearing is the one that would carry through, I think, to Brett and Sean and everybody, because the belt that Savage and Steamboat wore, or this belt that Savage or Steamboat beat Savage for, the WWF logo at the top, I think, was like red. First to my left, the Doctor of Style, Slick, my man. I love Slick. He is my favorite. I had a guy come into the restaurant last night dressed a lot like Slick, only with brighter colors. He was so great. Had the curly hair like that. Had a hat, but his outfit was way brighter. And he looked like Slick. It was so awesome. But I don't think he could talk like Slick. Nobody is as good as Slick. Yeah. Slick called all of them illiterate. I love that. I want one of those SummerSlam shirts, man. Yeah. All right, they're not even going to let him do the short version, because here comes the Powers of Pain. And this is not edited. This is their actual music. I liked the Powers of Pain music. It's underrated. One of my favorites from the AWA, Baron von Raschke, as the Red Baron. And that's all that people need to know. I love that Baron von Raschke was in. I met both members of Powers of Pain over WrestleMania weekend. Warlord choked me. It was very nice. I've always been a fan of Barbarian. I just thought he had such a unique athleticism to him. The way he could like deliver those kicks and shit in a very safe yet violent way. He was very light on his feet. Fast, quick. He was definitely the hawk of this team, and Warlord was the animal. Boris Zukov. No kidding. Wait, Savage Steamboat version of the IC title was also the belt Savage used Brasso polish on it and ruined the gold? Is that why it was silver? Because there was that IC title did have a silver tone to it for a little while. Savage also did that to his 92 version of the Winged Eagle. I had no idea. Is this a story or is this something he did on TV? He used Brasso on it? Yeah, I don't know the face plates of the original belts. The actual belts are gold plated, or they might be brass. I've worked in enough restaurants to where I've had to polish the You know, the service bar, like on a bar well, you know, where the servers come to pick up their drinks. Get one of those brass bars. I always polished it with Brasso. It fucking sparkled, man. I thought that would work on a belt. I'm never putting Brasso on my belts. Powers of Pain, too, had like just come in. Vince couldn't get the Road Warriors, so he got two lookalike teams. I feel like Demolition was WWE's original version of the Road Warriors, and then when they got Powers of Pain, they physically looked a lot more like Hawk and Animal than Demolition did. But they still weren't them. I forgot what is it George? I forgot what Warlord's real name is, but that's how he introduced himself to me at WrestleMania. Like, hi, and he said his name, nice to meet you. And I'm like, oh, you're Warlord. You're not Chris or George or whatever. You're Warlord, and that's all I insist on calling you that. Oh, we got Ali and Jesus, we got Ali and Wesley. Yes, please. Now, see, now this I'd watch. I don't care if I don't like NXT or not. Wesley and Mustafa Ali. It's probably a terrific, tremendous match. Might not be Chris Jericho and Commander level, but still might be pretty good. Sat, man, We Are Pro Wrestling. I did not know that my second favorite wrestler of all time was a belt abuser. I might have to change my tune on Terry. Thank you, Zane. Might have to change my tune on Savage there. So basically, if I had to choose my three top favorite belts of all time throughout pro wrestling's entire history, those are my three favorites. And you mean to tell me that Savage has fucked them all up on purpose? Maybe not on purpose. The big gold, though, was annoying. If he dropped it and it bent, who cares? It had that side plate that was detached for like 4 years. I'm like, button that shit up, man. Every time you saw that belt, that thing was hanging off. I'm like, why won't they fix this? Don't they have a dude backstage with like a screwdriver or something? I don't know. Like, what the fuck? Seems like it would be a 10-minute job to fix. And that thing was, they carried that thing around for years, falling apart. Yeah, I don't recall hearing Savage using Brasso on the belt. Really makes me mad. Kind of upsets me about Savage. He abused my favorite female pro wrestling personality of all time, and he abused my three favorite belts, and I'm going to call this guy my second favorite wrestler ever. I might have to. I think Boris Zukov is going to be my new second favorite wrestler ever. It's going to be Brett, Boris, Angle, Shawn, Austin. As much as I hate to say it, Kane. Did love Kane. I think he's a dumb idiot now. But yeah, fucking Slick, as much as I love you, and I love Slick, you don't want no part of Baron von Raschke. You are in a world of shit if you lock up with him, Slickster. I remember when I was a little kid, just starting to get into wrestling, and I went to visit my grandma and grandpa's house. And it was their neighbors that knew about wrestling. She's like, oh, you should meet the so-and-sos. They're into wrestling. And that was when I first heard Baron von Raschke's name, because they used to live in Minneapolis. They had like ties to the AWA and all this. I had like this like little family connection to the AWA. And he was trying to like educate me. I was like 6. He's like, do you know who Baron von Raschke is? And I'm like, no, I know who, Big John Studd is and shit like that. It was funny. And that was like kind of my first introduction into AWA. And then I started watching it. Oh, Nikolai. See, those are the kicks that I loved about Barbarian. He was so good at them. Is that going to be the finish? No. What is their finish anyway? What are they trying to do here? It's definitely a double team move, right? Oh, it's just going to be a top rope headbutt. Watch. And Barbarian did have a good one. Boom. Ball game. Stick the fork in Boris. I did like their theme song. Powers of Pain and Texas Tornado, Kerry Von Erich. Who else was a theme that was underrated? Beefcakes was pretty good. The Russians are making their way out. They want to go home. I bet they do. I don't recall why Baron Von Raschke left. If they just decided not to have him with them anymore, like maybe he wasn't needed, or if it was a decision made by him. I don't know. But even as a kid, I knew who that was. I was like, that's Baron Von Raschke. Oh, I thought this was I thought it was one-on-one. I didn't see Dominic earlier when I glanced up at the TV. I thought it was just Ali and Wesley. Okay, so this is a triple threat with Dominic. I get it. Or unless it's a gauntlet and they're coming in one at a time. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Who's next? Oh, it's the Blubber Love show. Who is his guest here then? Let me think. 88. Let me see if I can remember this without knowing. Who is coming in? It's not Slot. Who the fuck is this? Not Savage DiBiase. No, it's unless they're doing something with the Mega Bucks here. Is it Jesse? Is it Jesse Ventura? Who's the referee later? No. Is it? Who is it? Why can't I remember this? It's going to drive me crazy. I literally cannot remember who this is. It's not Dusty. He wasn't in yet. Hacksaw. Is it Hacksaw? Let me look at this tape here. Doesn't even say. It might be Hacksaw. Wow, this thing even lists Honky Tonk Man against Beefcake. Doesn't even say Warrior. That's crazy. Yeah, who's your Hacksaw? Makes sense. It's probably Hacksaw. No, it's not Slaughter. Slaughter would be 2 years later. I just saw Rhea try to block Wesley, and he just dove right over her, landed on Dominic. That was kind of cool. I remember when I was a kid, I didn't know what a 2x4 was. Because all I knew as a kid was a 4x4, which is like a truck. So when they mentioned 2x4s, like in wrestling, I was like, what the hell is a 2x4? Now I know what they are, but I finally learned what 2x4s were, last year, finally. But yeah, I always was confused by that as a child. Like, what are they talking about? Like a little truck? Like a truck half the size? Here he comes. Duggan has already been fired and rehired back. Interestingly enough, about 2 weeks before this event, Iron Sheik re-debuted in WWE. I watched that live at home. Not live, but it was probably taped, but I watched it at home when it aired. And I was like, holy shit, Sheik's back. He beat like, I don't know, some jobber, Scott Casey or something. And then he was gone. That's Sheik. Oh, who's he feuding with at the time? Andre, really, kind of. He was about to start feuding with Andre. Exos. He's filling out now. He's so big by this point. What did I watch not long ago? Like 3 days ago, I watched a match from probably 1981. Hulk Hogan against Jim Duggan. And Hogan was a heel with Blassie. Duggan was scrawny, short hair. Didn't even look like him. It was crazy. I don't know what the point of this Brother Love segment is. Oh, Dino Bravo. Well, Dino's working Morocco on this. We still have Coco Beware and Big Boss Man on this bullshit. What else we got? Jake and Herc. Don't question the patriotism. Don't question my patriotism. You can question mine if you want. I don't care. Question it all day you want. All day long. Dominic, oh yeah, replay right here. Rhea hands him the women's belt. Boom. Right to the head of Wesley. And my prediction, I'm standing by it. I predicted before Dominic even won the North American title that if he did win it, he would lose it on Raw. And I still think they're going to do that. I think at some point when they're ready to, after SummerSlam, when they get what they need out of Dominic's title run, and it's time to give that belt back to NXT, they'll do it on Raw. And it'll be a great moment for, hopefully, Wesley just to win it back instead of giving it to somebody else. Just let Wesley win it back on Raw in front of a sold-out arena. Epic moment for him. That's what I'd do. And I think they're going to do it. I don't see any badge on your chest that says you were a policeman. Now, Bruce Pritchard was like 27 years old at this time, like crazy. I miss 1988. Life was simple. I was still 1 month away, or no, probably a couple weeks away, because my birthday is in early September. But September of 88 was the year that I got my Nintendo for my birthday, which is like 2 or 3 years after it came out. But I finally got one, an NES, Mario, and all that shit. And then that same year, was when Mario 2 came out. I think I have a video of me opening it, but I think it's really bad. I don't know if I can show you guys. I look like a weirdo. I love you. Jesus. This whole pay-per-view feels like mostly filler except for the main event in the IC match. Oh, and we still have the WWF Tag Team title match. I forgot about that. Demolition and Hart Foundation. This was when the Harts just turned babyface. I think Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Godfather Would have been a fun team. Think about it. Oh, Train. Gigi Dolan. She is something. Mario 3. Shout out to Mario 3. I have a Retron 5. I play my Mario 3 these days. I haven't fired up in over a year, but I play it on my NES Mini. Here it comes. Intercontinental Championship on the line. Shout out to Mario 3. It says mom on it. I bought it on eBay. And I guess this belonged to somebody's mom. Or it could say wow. I'm not sure. All right, Honky. What's it going to be? This was a great historic moment. This made me mark out. I don't recall when I saw the results of this thing, but I knew Warrior won the title pretty quickly after SummerSlam. I'm sure I just found out about it on the following week's TVs or Primetime Wrestling, perhaps. Not sure where I heard about it, but Jay Lambo, appreciate the 5. No, his face was really not that tanned or red. He put some shit on his face to make him red. Because a lot of those, it's very a stereotypical kind of like evangelical thing. Like they'd be up there preaching, they'd be all red-faced and shit. So it was just kind of a spoof on that. And his opponent. So we didn't know it was going to be a mystery. This was so great. It was a smart move. Warrior was over. This is a great way to shake things up. It really was. He's like, I don't care who it is. Well, you know you're going to lose the belt now. It's great the way the fans start realizing, like, oh shit. Oh shit. Like, Warrior was super new and super over, and like, what a great dude to put the IC title on at the time. Like, what a great way to end this ridiculous run that this fucking moron had for 14 months. I'm no Warrior fan, but this was very sweet to watch. Remember, they had a rematch on Saturday night's main event shortly after this. And a splash. I mean, that type of shit you did not see back then. That was an epic way to switch the Intercontinental title. One of the best ways they've ever done it. And Ultimate Warrior is one of my least favorite wrestlers ever, but this is one of my favorite WWE moments of all time. Like, that was a big deal. That was so great to see. When you're a kid, 14 months is a long time. Honky Tonk Man held that title for 1/8 of my life. That would be the equivalent of 7 years today, 6 years today. You know, so when you're a kid, that is a long time. And so this felt like such a long time coming. I never got over Ricky the Dragon Steamboat losing the title the way he did. That just blew my mind at the time because I didn't know the back story as to why. I was just a kid. You know, there was no internet and none of that shit back then to find all this stuff out. So I was just like, why in the hell would they beat Ricky Steamboat? I was so mad of almost a year and a half, pissed off until this happens. Oh, it's so sweet to see that happen now. The nice 1-2 punch here is this coming Saturday. Gunther retains over Drew McIntyre, and if he does, that will virtually be your guarantee that he will, in fact, break Honky's record. A lot's on the line. A lot is on the line on Saturday. Yo, Chris. Who did Warrior beat for a second IC run? Rick Rude. We watched that SummerSlam, 2 weeks ago? Maybe 3? We just watched SummerSlam 89 recently, and that match was on it. Look at this weird video effect here. It's like WWE's playing with their new... God, Elizabeth. They're playing with their new toy or something. Not even the right song. You're playing the Royal Rumble song. I do love that thing with her, Elizabeth, how she looks back like that. That's so hot. New York City. Oh, look at Bobby is here. Hey, what are you doing up here? Andre's reading the Wall Street Journal. Yeah, because that's what rich people do. They have suitcases of cash laying around. They count it because that's just a great way to use your time if you're rich. They're about to threaten throwing him off. What are the Mega Powers doing? Shh. They're screaming. They're begging. They're screaming. They're begging. The Mega Powers put the dresser in front of the door so nobody can get in. Oh, this is more dubbed bullshit. Who's coming out now? Hercules, maybe? No, Don Morocco. Oh, yeah, because they're not playing Jesus Christ Superstar. That was the song he was coming out to at the time. He had the tie-dye passed down to him by superstar Billy Graham. I did like the pairing between Morocco and Billy Graham. I thought it was cool. You know, two guys from that era. You know, Billy Graham is, you know, no longer wrestling, but Morocco still is. And I would have loved to see, you know, Morocco get another run with the IC, but I think he was just a little bit not in the running. Oh, Frenchie Martin. Now, this is a WrestleMania 4 rematch. These two men met in the tournament, and I know Morocco won that. It was interesting, too, around this time. You know, Bobby Heenan was largely not associated with Andre the Giant for the majority of 88. He kind of sold Andre's contract to DiBiase, and DiBiase had him for a while. Like, Bobby was not in the middle of that during WrestleMania 4. He was doing his own shit. And then it wasn't until this time that Bobby kind of got back into the fold with Andre, became his manager again. I mean, these two guys, I never really know or heard about what the relationship between Morocco and Dino Bravo was, if they were friends or what, but they had the same size and spots on the card, essentially. I like Morocco much better, though. And I'd much rather be from Hawaii than Quebec. No offense, Quebec. Yeah, Victor, but I don't think Gunther's gonna face a threat. This is the biggest one he's gonna get. He's not gonna get past Drew and then lose at Payback before. That's just not gonna happen. I don't even think he's gonna lose to Drew, but I feel like it is SummerSlam and it is a big match and Drew's a big star, so there is certainly a chance there. But if he beats Drew, in my mind, game over. He's not gonna lose at Payback. Gunther holding the belt for that long at that point, Payback will not be where he drops it. It was crazy how he was calling himself The Rock during that time. All right, this looks like we've got the women's championship match here. Tiffany Stratton against... I didn't realize how short she was. Frenchie just passed away a couple years ago, I think, too. Thea Hale, that's her name. Yeah, they might do double count out for Drew and Gunther at SummerSlam. I mean, maybe. But if they wanted to do something like that and stretch it out and have McIntyre eventually be the guy to win the Intercontinental title, but maybe stretch it. He's unsuccessful at SummerSlam, double count out scenario, gets him a rematch at Payback. Something else happens there, maybe double disqualification. So you do double count out at SummerSlam, double disqualification at Payback. Then Gunther breaks the record after September, and then you do the blow off with a stipulation like anything goes, whatever, and McIntyre wins. And by then, Gunther has broken Honky's record. That could work. Oh, wow. He did hit him with it. USA is not okay. I love that sign. It's like, that's an insult. Like, that's something that if even somebody said, you're not okay. I'm like, okay, that's the best you got. You put that on a sign, no less. Oh, that's the second one we've seen tonight. Russian leg sweep by Rick Rude and Don Morocco after I had just said I've never seen anybody else other than Bret Hart do that move. And we just saw two people do it within 30 minutes. Shout out to Timmy White. Still very young. Oh, I didn't even know if it didn't look like Morocco even hit Frenchie, but I guess he did. Oh, there's a ref bump there. That's going to be slide slam now. That's Dino's finisher. And that'll be it, I bet. Strongest man in the world wins. That's right. That was right after they did that bench press 500-pound thing or whatever. Ron Breaker taking it off Gunther. They could bring him in the way they did Warrior here, although I wouldn't want to see Braun squash him. I don't know. I do like Braun Breaker. I hate his name, but I like Gunther more. But that could work. Hand-picked. Just terrible green screen effects. Like any basic laptop can do this. Ooh. That's right. Mm-hmm. He's no fool. A bag is a bag, right? Can't blame Jesse. But he did. All right, here's the tag title match. It'll be a much different scene 2 years later at SummerSlam 90. We've watched that one too. The Heart Foundation. Listen to the ovation for the Heart Foundation. They had no music yet. They didn't have their dun 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 dun. Hadn't come yet. And here comes the relatively new tag team champions, winning them at SummerSlam. I'm sorry, WrestleMania. They got Jimmy Hart and Fuji with them. Because Jimmy's butthurt about the Harts dumping him. Oh my God, Chris Minor. Honky hits Gunther with a guitar and helps Drew. You can't do that to Gunther. Gunther's too. That'd be like doing that to Brock, you know? I couldn't imagine that. Now that's what I would do. That scenario is what I would have done if Santino Marella would have gotten that close to Honky's record. Remember the honkometer and all that? He's going to be the greatest intercontinental champion of all of the times. I would have gotten him up to like this the day before the record, and then have a big intercontinental title match and have Honky, I guess, screw him. Yeah, screw him. Hit Santino with the guitar, and he loses the title like a day before he breaks the record. That would be great. But you can't do that to Gunther. Gunther would break Honky with one punch, and then he'd eat the guitar. All right, Brett and Axe. Where's Crush? He's not there tonight. Not there yet. $1988, crazy. Hearts and Demolition, so crazy. I mean, going into this pay-per-view, I was not of the opinion, even at 11 years old, that the Hearts were going to win the titles here. Demolition were pretty unstoppable looking at the time. They would do that brilliant double turn at Survivor Series with Demolition and Powers of Pain, which I remember as a kid being a little slow to pick up on what they were doing. Didn't really hit me till like nearly when the show was over. Oh, the whole time I thought Mr. Fuji turned babyface. It's like, no, Demolition did, you dumbass. Loud motorcycles. He's got a jar head. Ooh, Fuji and Jimmy Hart. Sinister combination, if there ever was one. Yeah, everybody has such long runs now. You know, now guys are in the company 10 years and I still think about them as new. Where when Undertaker made it to 10 years of destruction, I remember thinking like, wow, 10 whole years. Now it's like fucking Ricochet's been in the company 10 years. You know, we're close to it. But it always just went by a lot quicker then. Like Austin, his run on top was to 98 to 2001, right? When did he lose the title? He was champion in 01. Yeah, lost at the end of 2001. So his run was about less than 4 years long. 3 to 4 years was his run on top. Rock, same thing. Ooh, nice drop kick by Brett. And in that 3.5 years to 4 years that Austin was on top, a year of that is missing from his injury. He basically had a hot 98, a mostly hot 99 until he got injured, missed most of 2000, and then had an okay 2001 when he turned heel and all that, and then dropped the title at the end of the year and the vengeance shit. And then by the next year, he was taking his ball and going home. And that was it. The man from Japan, brother. They got poor Brett's arm tied up here, and Demolition is whacking it. Whacking the arm, not themselves. Yeah, Austin probably could have gone longer had his neck been 100%, but he had bad knees too. He probably could have extended his run a little bit. But I don't think he could have gone another 10 or 20, though. Ooh, weird shoulder breaker, too. Superstar, you are funny. Trying to do commentary. I believe it. Ooh, what's he doing? Bill Eadie is in such shape. Eyeing him up again. Do some damage to the Demolition. Oh, they are really working on Brett's shoulder. They're doing a good job of it too. I guess that's why the shoulder breaker looked weird, is because Smash is a pro and he wanted to make sure he delivered the shoulder breaker to the correct shoulder, which is why it looked inverted. It's really amazing that the veterans had that much attention to detail when you don't train the way now. It's like they micromanage you to death and they teach you all these little things and mannerisms and how to walk and how to act and react and do shit in the ring. Where back then you just went to wrestling school and you were in the ring. They had this this ability to know what they're supposed to do without it being hammered into their heads. Just experience. All those guys were trained to make it look as real as possible. And that's where a lot of that shit comes in. Nowadays, I don't know if A wrestler would really give a shit if they got the right shoulder or not when it came to that type of stuff. And that all classic spot. Referee doesn't see the tag. Anvil's pissed. Oh. The tag to the Anvil. Can't believe it would take him 2 more years to get back to the tag title. Wow, Anvil is all over the place, throwing these guys down. That was like Randy Orton on one of those Bollywood boys. Oh, down goes Axe, or down goes Smash, excuse me. Oh, wow. Wow, slingshot. They usually do that into the ring. I've never seen Anvil do that outside the ring. Wow, Hearts, they should put him in the finisher here. Yeah, they're going for it. They got to be going for it. Tag in Brett. Wow. Crowd thought it was happening. What kind of move is this? There's a lot of stuff. A lot of this stuff is classic Hearts. I think they had the match won right there when they first threw Smash back in the ring. They should have just put him in the heart attack right there. See, if I was the Heart Foundation's manager, they'd be tag team champions right now. I was just about to ask who won that women's match. Stratton retained. That seemed kind of obvious. Oh, Fuji's getting it. Anvil's working over Fuji. And we got a megaphone. Boom. Oh. That's going to be son of a bitch. A miscarriage of justice. It is, but at the same time, it's a little bit of poetic justice too, because Heart Foundation won some matches with the megaphone themselves, and one of the biggest ones was that 6-man at WrestleMania 3 that allowed Danny Davis of all people to get the damn pin on Dynamite. Or it might have been Davey, I forgot who. Tosses it right down. I thought Jimmy was already out there. It's Brett from behind. And that's how they won the tag team titles as well. They won it with Fuji's cane. And Axe did the same thing. He hit Martel and then hid and ducked under the apron. I guess they were just winning all their matches that same way. All right. Ooh, Honky. Oh, he's probably pissed. Very mad heels. They're mad too. Hercules looks really distraught. Well, you're the one that asked for it, you dumb shit. You fucking stupid Honky Tonk Man. Did you not hear yourself out there? Bring me anybody. I don't care who it is. It's your own damn words, you dumb fuck. Guess what, Honky? You ain't gonna get shit back. You have seen and worn that belt for the last time. And in just a few weeks, you are no longer going to be the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, because that's going to be Gunther. And also Brett and Kurt and Sean and everybody except you, Honky. Let's go to our ring announcer. What you got to say, Howard? Oh, Big Boss Man who had just come in, literally. Look how young he is. Looks back. Big Bubba in WWE. The Big Boss Man. Oh, yeah, this is old WWE music. They loved their saxophone themes back then. Oh, Coco Beware, yeah. I was like, why does this sound so familiar? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot he was coming out of Pile Driver. All right, Coco, you're going to get beat. I remember that music video, Pile Driver, hilarious. Oh, Coco. Yeah, Slick and Coco, man, they go back. They go way back. They've always had problems. Very young boss man. Has he got keys on him and shit? Take your keys off. What doors are you opening? Forbidden doors. Coco's so fast. Oh, they got him caught up like Andre. I mean, Coco would hang around, you know. I don't know if he was in and out, but I know he was there all the way to like 92. Maybe 91. That shit he did with Owen. Got Big Boss Man. He's probably like 25 here. There's Big Boss Man, Bam Bam Bigelow, and King Kong Bundy were all deceptively young or deceivingly young when they were brought in. They were all in their like mid 20s. Come on, boy. Oh yeah, I've seen the Von Erich movie. Pretty interesting that that's a Christmas release because the story's gnarly. So that's going to be doesn't seem like Hollywood or holiday, excuse me, material to me. Yeah, Angie, remember how slim Boss Man would get? Like by 91, he was or 90 even. 2 years later, he would drop easily 100 pounds. Easily. Might have even been more. He was extremely slim and fast, and Ray Traylor was just good. He was good all over. Yeah, Kelvin, I'd like to see Coco try the Brainbuster finisher on Boss Man. Maybe on 1990 Boss Man, it would have been possible, but not 1988 Boss Man. He was big and sweaty. Jesus, red eyes? Man, that's scary. Yeah, Coco was kind of a glorified enhancement talent, although he would win enhancement matches all the time. on TV. So he would win, but in terms of having a straight up opponent and beating him, I don't recall too many times that happened either. Oh. Coco looks like he's out on his feet. Problem is, he's laying down. That piece of garbage. Monsoon is so harsh. There's the oil slick. It's going to the top rope. I feel like he's going to miss this, and Coco's going to have a little flurry of a comeback. Boss Man's going to, Boss Man's going to counter, hit him with his side slam, and that's going to be it. Wow, that didn't even, Boss Man just no-sold that. I guess he didn't miss. I guess the idea was that he got a little bit of Coco. Oh, he's crotched now. I love that he keeps his keys on. That is hilarious. Oh, Coco's on the top rope. Drop kick. Yep. Wow. He had a great drop kick. Fans love that one. They pop for that. Big kick out by Boss Man. Oh, launched him over the referee. Like yesterday's garbage. Everything's garbage to Gorilla. Like yesterday's garbage is still in my trash can. I'll probably take that out tomorrow or something. Boom, there it is. That patented. Big Boss Man beats Coco at the first ever SummerSlam. And now it looks like we've got Carmelo and Dragunov at the NXT Championship. Yeah, Frankie. He brought out Frankie. And then later he would bring in the ball and chain, and he'd chain the fuckers up. That's it. Coco gets beat as they show the replay as Gorilla and Superstar make an interesting pair, that's for sure. The Billy Club. Do you think Billy Club is related to Bobby Pin? Or maybe the Tommy Gunn? Yes, we get a Warrior post-match celebration promo interview. What you got to say, Warrior? You goofy bastard. Oh, good, he's with the baby faces too. He's got Dynamite with him, Morocco, Davey, Patera, JYD. They have to pretend to be happy for him. They're probably like, fuck this guy. He was sitting in parts unknown, waiting for the next spaceship, as one does. Oh, sorry. Okay. He takes spaceships to and from places, apparently. You want it, come and get it. All right, cool. This is going to be our next match, Hercules and Jake. Cool. Rick Rude might interfere, but I'm going to go say bye to Elizabeth, who's leaving now, and I'll be back in a minute. All right. Thank you so much for your patience. And I got a freshie too, as Jake. I think Jake's probably just going to beat Herc here. Herc is on the verge of a babyface turn because Bobby Heenan was dissing him and about to sell him to Ted DiBiase. Oh, yeah, Brain's not even out here. Okay, so see, Bobby's already starting his bullshit with Hercules. I feel like the main event is next, right? It's just this one. I don't think Rude comes out here. I think Jake chased him out of the building. I mean, looking at this card here, my God, I mean, he had the 3 title matches. Or no, you just had the 2. Excuse me, title matches. But everything else were pretty one-sided battles. We had that time limit draw in the opener. But everything else, Powers of Pain and Bolsheviks, Boss Man and Coco, Bad News and Patera, Rude and Dog. Well, even though that one didn't end the way we thought, a lot of those were kind of obvious outcomes. WWE was still getting their feet wet with pay-per-views back in these days. I can't remember too many Hercules and Jake Roberts matches, actually. From WWE, anyway. I loved Hercules dancing elbows. Hercules is so strong. Drinking 805s, Mike, just a local beer, local lager. Established in 2012. 5%. Paso Robles. Firestone Brewing Company. Firestone Walker. They're good. They're easy to drink. I actually like them better than Stella's because I really do not drink a lot at all anymore. The only time I'm really drinking these days is if I'm doing one of these streams and it's a day off and I can have 2 beers. But otherwise, I don't drink much, so I don't like to really drink heavy beers. I don't want to catch a buzz and get drunk on nights that I have to get shit done. So I don't really drink a whole lot. Governor turned 76 today. I can only do his grunts. I can't talk like him, but I can do his all that. That's kind of what he does in my head. Oh, yeah. Looks like we got a pretty fun Dynamite set for Wednesday, too. I'm so pissed. My schedule right now at work is really not making me available for Wednesdays or Saturdays. So I'm missing both of these shows live. So I have to catch up on them, which sucks. But hopefully I can catch one of them one of these nights. We could watch 86 Starcade. Why not? Have I ever experienced an earthquake? Yeah. I've been out here 13 years now. I've felt a bunch. A few of them have made me a little nervous, but they haven't been any more than just a really hard rattling of the house or the apartment or wherever I happen to be. But I've probably felt, on average, since I've been here, 1 to 2 a year, something like that are noticeable to me. And since I've been here, probably like 4 that I remember being like, holy shit. That's what they feel like? That's scary. But San Diego doesn't really have like the big ones. You know, we can get rattled, but I don't think we're going to have a city flattening earthquake here. I think that's more like San Francisco and a little further up north. But we could still break off and sink into the ocean, so that could happen. One of the ugliest bumps. I'm no Cornette fan, but I wince and cringe for him whenever I see the replay of him falling on his knees. That must have been excruciating. Just a horrible injury. Like, goddamn. Kind of like Vince doing his quads kind of thing. It's just like, God. But Cornette's just looked so bad. You know, Vince's, you couldn't even tell. But Cornette, the way he came down with all that force. Ugh. That was, I bet that was extremely unpleasant to experience that. Up, Herc's over the top. That long scar there. I wonder what kind of surgery Herc had there. Might have broke something. Pretty interesting 2 matches here. NXT title match. And Hercules and Jake the Snake Roberts split screen. That move. Down we go. Yeah, one more will take Herc down. Hit him with that DDT. You got a short arm. Clothesline him first. Set it up. Here comes a short arm right here. You know, see here, Jake was never really a body guy, but like back in these days, I always thought Jake was in okay shape. He was still big. He still had size to him. Ooh, wow. Oh, and he missed the knee lift. Jake did have a good knee lift, but he did miss a lot of knee lifts too. Oh, that's cool. I'm curious how, if anybody's watching all three, watching me and these other two shows, what devices you're using to do that. So you're watching SummerSlam on your TV and NXT on your iPad. That's cool. Where the hell am I? On your phone? Maybe I'm on your phone. I have two computers and three monitors in front of me. So if I was doing it, I would probably watch. Oh, there it is. I'd probably watch SummerSlam in front of me, the streamer over here, and then NXT over here. That's probably what I do in my setup. But I turn sideways, and Jake got him with a did it. Yeah, I think my next house or next wherever I live next, I'm probably going to have the same setup. I'm going to keep the whole desk the same, and I'm going to kind of have a sideways view here so I can have a background behind me, maybe. Or I'll be more front and center with something directly behind me. Not sure yet. But this is the month that landlord should be sending me my lease renewal. So as long as he doesn't plan to sell the house out from under us, you'll have about another year at least of this. But I would really like to not have to look for a place to live right now. That would be incredibly inconvenient. The Snake Man. Out comes the reptile. Then Herc's got to do the snake. My God. All right, here we go. This is the history of the Mega Powers and Mega Bucks flashback. I remember I watched this summer of '88 being off from school. Oh my God, I was so happy. It was a great time for me as a kid. Oh, and DiBiase nails Savage from behind as Virgil manhandles Elizabeth. Poor Elizabeth, forced to watch this. Where is Hogan? Why aren't you even out there, Hogan, you asshole? He'll select his partners a later date. I wonder who it's going to be. Tito Santana? The Genius? This is a weird part of the angle. I was wondering what they were trying to do. Because they know they can buy Jesse. I like how they tried to drag it out like Savage is going to have to think about it. I'm like, the Mega Powers hooked up all the way back in September of the previous year. It'd been almost a year of this shit. And now, by this point, you know, Hogan was so much physically bigger than Jesse, too. You being deathly afraid of Andre. Will that have any bearing? And probably become the world champion. Of course you could, Jesse. Of course. Brother Heenan, up here they all are. You better pay good attention. That's the warning that Andre gave Jesse. I'd be like, get your fucking hands off me, you green suit wearing dick. You don't just walk up to me and start putting your hands all over my clothes. Oh, unless you want to put $100 bills in it, then yeah, feel me up. No problem. The ham hock.
Position, I would be very surprised. Well, I'm not going to be surprised. Let's find out what Jesse's going to do.
Gorilla talking about how he's a SEAL. And he's like, I'd be surprised if he took the mud. Well, no, I wouldn't be surprised. All right, the Mega Powers. They're two really big powers, and then when you put them together, it makes them mega, and that's why they're called Mega Powers. That's where the name comes from. Let me know if you need me to explain it again or break it down any further. All right, here comes Jesse. It's a pretty awesome robe, though. Jesse, you can't referee in that. Yeah, brother. Yeah, you are not dressed at all for refereeing, Jesse. You got your bald bandana on. No music for DiBiase, no music for Andre. Mega Bucks. Summer residence in Hyannisport, Massachusetts. That's probably a pretty nice place in the summer. I've always been obsessed with Nantucket. Anybody ever been to Nantucket? I'm obsessed with Nantucket because I used to love the show, the TV show Wings, which was set there. It wasn't filmed there. It was just set there. But little island and off of Cape Cod somewhere, right? I want to go there. I want to go to the club car and have a beer. Andre. and their opponents. Ooh, are they going to come out separately, or does Hogan come out to Savage's music? Hogan comes out to the champ's music, as it should be. That's right. Bring it up the rear, Hulk. First time I ever remember seeing Hogan having writing on his tights. I mean, Elizabeth is... There's no words. Like, I am without speech. Hogan and Andre face to face again. I mean, Hogan and Andre are finally getting to the point where they're wrapping up their business with each other. I don't remember too many times they would be in the ring together after this, other than maybe some Coliseum video shit for the rest of '88. But by the time they got to Survivor Series, they'd moved on to the Hakeem and the Big Boss Man. I love seeing that belt on Savage. Is this before the Brasso ruined it? I guess so. That's a true statement, Mike. You're right. Elizabeth is not Nicole Bass. No truer words have ever been spoken. Andre wants to shake hands. Jesse trying to lay down the law. He definitely has the voice for it. I don't remember why. I mean, I'm curious what the thinking behind the scenes was to make Jesse the referee here, because he had no previous involvement with any of these guys before. It was almost like a random thing. And I don't know what the point. It would be one thing if the referee or the referee was another member of the Heenan family or somebody with a history of one of these guys in here. Why does he keep going to that? He's tightening it up or loosening it up. Oh, he's moving the tag rope. Okay. Jesse giving it to Hogan. Yeah, Hogan, you don't want to get in a shoot with Jesse. He'd beat your ass. Back when tag ropes were still a thing. Well, they might be a thing again now. I'm not sure. Oh, did Carmelo retain? I guess he did. Good for him. Good for you, Carmelo. Damn, I can't believe NXT Great American Bash was over before SummerSlam. This is a short one, too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let the champ start if he wants to start. Oh, and he starts with Andre. I don't think he knew Andre was there. He just walked right into him. He got out of there quick. DiBiase and Macho Man again. Hulk's like, no problem. All this shit started because you tried to buy a championship, DiBiase. I remember DiBiase facing Hogan in this building in Madison Square Garden in like 79. It was like heel Hogan against a very young, gimmickless Ted DiBiase. An entire 9 years earlier, which is just crazy. Hey, brother, don't bother me. Superstar's got some funny lines on commentary. Damn, I forgot about Jesse refereeing again at SummerSlam in '99. I completely forgotten about that. I really don't like that SummerSlam, so I never watch it. I've never really watched it back. We're gonna have to get to it next year. There's no doubt about it. We're gonna have no choice but to watch a lot of shitty ones. '96, '99. I'm not a big fan of '97. '93 sucks. But we're gonna have to watch them. We're gonna have to watch Bret Hart and Isaac Yankem at some point. Bombs away. What's up, Elizabeth? It was so weird too. Like the finish that we're gonna see here, Hogan and Savage, they teased the finish week after week on TV. They kept talking about their secret weapon, and just when the Mega Bucks think everything's fine, she's gonna strip off and show her. They kept talking about Elizabeth in a bikini. Every week she's gonna be in her itsy bitsy bikini. And I'm like, would Elizabeth do that? Wouldn't she be a little bit more tasteful? And I guess that's why she was in this dress, but they kept making it sound like she was going to be in some skimpy shit. And kept saying over and over that was what they were going to use to beat Andre and DiBiase, which is just mind-blowing to me. That they were counting on the horniness of Andre and DiBiase to win a match. Like, Elizabeth's beautiful and everything, but if you're embroiled in life-threatening combat, I don't think you're really worried about getting hard on at that moment. Oh, and now we got Andre and Hogan. Andre choking Hulk. Yeah, Mania 2 we'll be doing this year. I think we'll do a bash at the beach next Sunday, and I will do a poll. We'll do a YouTube poll for it. Find out which one wins. 98 and 2000 will both definitely be on the list. Maybe pick a couple earlier 90s ones. Yeah, it's the traps. It's a trapezius. The trapezius maximus. He's got it on him. You got your ubulus maximus here, which is connected to your upper dorsimus. It's boring, but it's a part of my life. Just watch out for the guns. They'll get you. Andre always took his singlet. When he was a babyface, before he was wearing a singlet, he'd wrap other shit around their necks. He didn't care. We watched him on Saturday Night's Main Event the other week. where he took Bundy's own shit and wrapped it around his neck. Andre was fucking vicious, man. Babyface or heel. You don't want to tangle with Rougeaus. Better Mania 1 or 2? 2. I don't hate 2. It's not great, but I don't hate it. It's got some different shit on there. Mania 1 was very deliberate. Lots of, back then the lighting was so dim and everything. I like Mania 2 because you bounced around. You had some attraction matches like the boxing match. You had a tag team title change, which you did at WrestleMania 1 as well. You had that battle royal that had the football players and shit, and the setting of the big blue bar cage, and Tommy Lasorda and Bundy. I remember all that. I like that. I don't hate it. We'll get to WrestleMania 2 whenever we start our WrestleMania watch-alongs this year, or for this year's WrestleMania. We'll start with that one. We'll start with WrestleMania 2, of which I have 3 copies of. Come on, Hogan. Andre, I don't mean this to be mean at all. Andre has orca teeth. You ever seen an orca's teeth? Andre has orca teeth. Which is why he has no natural predators. He is the apex predator. Come on, Hogan. That adrenaline's flowing through his body. That's not the only thing flowing through his body. Double closey. Come on, let's give Savage the hot tag and Andre at the same time. Nice. I love the way DiBiase took backdrops. Greg Gagne wishes he was as good as David Sammartino. No contest. Double axe coming. Could be all over. Jesse's like, oh shit, do I have to count? I don't want to count. I mean, we think about it in a lot of ways, this is just almost as ludicrous as that crazy match they had in WCW where Hogan and Savage took on the 14 dudes in the cage or whatever. They got DiBiase and Andre, plus they have Bobby and Virgil and Jesse Ventura all working on their side against 2 men and an extremely hot woman. Here comes Andre. I said when I used to do the punches with my figures, I would make the Andre grunt. If I threw a punch with the figure, I'd go, ugh! Yes, I think we did WrestleMania 8. I feel like we did. If we didn't, we'll get to that one too, but I think we did. Oh. Right on his head, right on his face. The stink. Andre's giving Savage the stink face. Or the hip attack. Come on, Jess. Jesse's 10 feet away from the action, and he's wearing jeans. and a collared shirt and a bandana. He looks terrible. Kicked out. It is weird, like when they made the announcement, they said that Jack Tunney was the one who picked Ventura to be the referee. But I'm like, why would Jack Tunney pick Ventura to be the referee? Why would he select him, a man who's known to be openly biased? Sometimes Jack Tunney made some weird ones. That's for sure. Shout out to Pat Patterson in the aisleway there. He wants a piece of this guy. Look at Hogan throwing a vertical. Taking out Andre. He's down. Andre's down. Face first on the canvas. Andre at SummerSlam. He only wrestled in the first two? Oh, yeah, you should go for the elbow, Savage. I always say go to that side. Oh! Savage ate that boot. I guess that's why Hogan directed him to go to the other corner so he could eat that properly. There's those headbutts by Andre. Come on, Jesse, get him out of there. Oh, wait, this might be when Elizabeth... Yeah, they're both out. And there she is. Take it off, Elizabeth. They're all just standing there. It's such a weird finish. Like Elizabeth's waiting for her cue, I guess. I think I just saw DiBiase nod to her. I've never noticed that before. I think DiBiase was her cue. He just kind of did one of those. So she just tears off her skirt. That's all she does. Look at Jesse like, huh? It's not that, like, they're going nuts over here. Like, she's just as hot with the skirt on or without. Look at them. Now they're shaking hands. Ooh, yeah, it worked, brother. Even though we told everybody the finish for weeks and weeks and weeks on TV, and we didn't even deliver because she's not even in a bitsy witsy bikini or whatever. Up. And there's Savage. They've got Andre. Over the top rope he goes. Down goes Virgil. Down goes Heenan. Jesse is like, oh, shit. Scoop slam. Foot on the throat of DiBiase. Top rope elbow. And the leg drop. Oh, shit. Count, Jesse. 1, 2. Savage makes him count the 3. He did hesitate. The Mega Powers. And there is the seed that is planted right there. Hogan has got Elizabeth in his arms. And Savage sees it. And see, right? And there it is. And that's the first time Savage gave Hogan the side eye. Like, what are you doing, brother? Then they would do it again. at Survivor Series, they would win, and Hogan would pick up Elizabeth and spin her around. Savage would get a little bit more pissed off. Then it would boil over at the Royal Rumble, and they'd get in a little pushing match. And then the following month on the main event, you have the split. But it was a slow build. They pushed the jealousy angle the whole time. Or teased it, I should say. Poor Elizabeth had to be picked up by that disgusting, sweaty Hulk. Elizabeth's directing him. Go over there, guys. Go do your thing over there. I love Elizabeth, but she sometimes didn't do a lot. Like, they just kept telling her to blow that kiss. Like, she's clapping. She's doing some stuff. Victor, $2 from you. Thanks, dude. I was watching WrestleMania 6 and Peacock edited out Piper versus Brown completely. Wow, yeah, maybe they did because of the blackface thing or the half-face thing. That was weird. Even as a kid, well, I guess I was 13, but even as a kid, I didn't quite get what Piper was doing. I'm like, I don't know what he's doing, and I don't know what the point of this is. And even as a 13-year-old, when I looked at the Piper and Bad News feud, I did not look at white versus black at all. I looked at two wrestlers in a feud. That's all I saw it as. So Piper almost like shoehorned that in there when it didn't need to be. I'm like, this isn't about any of that. What the fuck are you doing? There's been some far worse things WWE has put on their TV shows. And now Elizabeth is up. Oh yeah. Savage would use this footage in his tirade against Hulk the following year. And he'd pause it where Hogan had his hand on Elizabeth's ass. See, right there. Hogan was just putting her up there, but he did have his hand on her ass. And he looked like he purposely did that. Copped a feel. Poor Elizabeth. It's like my two favorite things, Miss Elizabeth and the Winged Eagle title. Like, you don't, there's no more perfect image. A more perfect image does not exist. That's like instant smile. If I see that, show me Elizabeth holding the Winged Eagle title. I literally need nothing else in life. Thanksgiving. Survivor Series back in Richfield, at the Richfield Coliseum. Right on. Well, we finally knocked out SummerSlam 1988. Finally. So that concludes our SummerSlams for this year. We will not revisit these again until we get to next July, probably. And next week, we'll do, I think we'll do a Bash at the Beach. I'll put 2000 as one of the choices on the YouTube poll. I'll put up a poll probably tomorrow or something. So just keep a lookout. And whichever one wins, we'll do that one. And we got a busy week. We're going to be here tomorrow night after Raw. So please be here if you can. If you can't be here, maybe stop by, chat, say hello, give the video a like. It would be very, very helpful. I'll have a link up for that probably later tonight as well, along with Thursday's SummerSlam predictions video, which we will probably get into the Cody documentary as well, and probably Dark Side of the Ring. We'll talk a little bit about that on Thursday. That'll be a good spot to debut my new little side pod that I have. So we'll do that on Thursday afternoon. And then we will be back on Saturday for SummerSlam. I just have to decide if I'm going to do a watch-along live reaction of the whole show or just a review. It might be a good chance to just come up here on YouTube for a few hours since my schedule is so busy and, you know, try to pull in some subscribers or whatever. So I'll give it some thought in the next couple days and I'll let you guys know. But we will be here tomorrow for a long one. Expect me here a good solid 2 hours tonight or tomorrow night after Monday Night Raw to catch up on Collision and Raw results, wrestling news. There's some interesting things floating around out there. We'll talk about All In. We'll talk about SummerSlam. we'll talk about a lot, including maybe even a little bit about Great American Bash. So tune in for that tomorrow after Raw right here on the YouTube. And until then, you guys just have a great rest of your Sunday night. Enjoy what's left of your weekend and looking really forward to hanging out with y'all tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night.